first prediction. We'll see
Right,
what
my
you go
first
with.
prediction.
Oh, jeez. You know that you're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, fuck that. United through and through, right? So Liverpool to beat Watford. A couple of reasons for this was obviously Liverpool, powerhouse in the league. Mo Salah on fire. Watford, they only got a new manager in. I don't see him having enough time to actually have an impact yet on that squad. So
The Tinker Man Ranieri.
yeah, he's still living on his fucking Leicester win, isn't he?
Oh, I disagree with what you're saying there about you're nearly using the fact that a manager has come in as a negative. I think it will have a positive impact on Watford. Now, I'm not saying Watford will win this match.
Yeah.
They've some decent players. But, Liverpool are without Alisson, they're without Fabinho. Both of them won't be playing tomorrow or Saturday, which is actually good because your man Kelleher from Ireland will be starting.
Yeah, I was going to say that, yeah.
I'd fully expect Liverpool to win. I'd dream for Watford to win it, but I don't think they will. But it's not as straightforward as you might think.
Of course, as a United fan, yeah, I want Liverpool to lose. But as a betting man, I think this would be one that's going to stand out for me. I think even with Alisson, they have Keller coming in. With Fabinho, they do have options in there. New managers, that does happen when they come in. The team get a bounce and they perform better. And a lot of the time, the lower teams are going to try pick up their standards when they're playing a big team, like Liverpool or United or whoever. But for me, I think this would be a good bet for Liverpool to win. So do you want to jump on to the second one?
As a United fan, you'd rather we lost the bet and Liverpool to lose, yeah?
Go fuck yourself. Listen, money. No, as a United...
You're putting you on the spot there.
As a United fan, I'd be happy for these to drop points here. But if we're putting together an accumulator, we need to make some money out of this. You're going to have to pick some clubs that you don't like.
No, look, I agree with that. I would agree. I think Liverpool will win that match tomorrow or Saturday.
Right, go on.
The early kickoff as well.
What is it? 12:30, is it?
Sorry, say that again.
What is it? 12:30?
10:30. Normally, the bet killer is the early Saturday kickoff. Right, my first prediction, and as a United fan, you'll enjoy this one. Leicester to beat United.
You fucking prick. Leicester to beat United.
The reason is fairly straightforward. Two people, Eric Boye and Victor Lindelof, starting in centre defence.
Well, you're missing the other two reasons.
What are the other two reasons?
Fred and McTominay.
No, that's the weird thing, right? Because Boye is a strange one, right? Because he's actually a good defender, except he has the innate ability, and I've never seen it from anyone else, that when he jumps, he somehow manages to get smaller. The fella cannot win a header. It's ridiculous. Like I genuinely, I would 100% win a header against both of them. And you've seen me jump. You saw me jump a couple of weeks ago.
Howley, I've seen your bogey knees trying to jump 1 metre. Yeah, you've no hope.
That was like a gazelle, that was.
Right, so Leicester. So Leicester are at home, are they?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough one. We chatted about this on the Premier League Weekly one, and I think most of the lads actually picked either Leicester to win or for it to be a draw. So I don't think many people were actually confident, even though we had two United fans on that one. I think with Varane being out...
Right. Ronaldo's 37 now. He played the 90 minutes against Luxembourg on Tuesday.
Yeah.
They don't have Cavani because he's not going to be back from international duty, or he's not expected to be back from international duty. They'll have to play Fred and McTominay because of who's behind them. So that in itself is going to limit them. And the rest of the players, they haven't really kicked off. Like Sancho hasn't kicked off yet. Pogba started brilliantly, but he's been struggling. Bruno Fernandes, he's playing decent. And Leicester haven't even started the season that well.
Yeah.
I still fancy against that defence.
But Howley, Leicester are 13th in the league. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's hyping up Brendan Rodgers all the time. And for me, myself and Mitch had a chat about who are kind of had the worst start or the most, disappointing start. And for me, it was Leicester. Like they've struggled to break the top four, but they were always within contention there.
They're struggling, Leicester, right? I get that. But again, they're up against Eric Boye and Lindelof.
Yeah.
And that's not even the worst thing. there's the potential on the bench for Phil Jones to come into that match. Like, I don't know who couldn't beat that. In fact, I'd nearly, if the bet was available, I'd put a bet on that Leicester would score from every cross that comes into that box.
Right, well, Leicester to beat United. For me, obviously, I hope United win. I think we have to win. If they don't, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Ollie. Yeah. But you have Leicester to beat United, right? What is Alex's first pick? And then we can have a quick chat through them.
Right, let's see why he didn't join now. Oh my god.
Oh, you picked a safe bet.
Fucking 8-1 on. We'll end up owning the bookies' money after that. You get nothing back from that.
Alex, you snake. Fucking making the safest bet possible. I think City. I think City will beat Burnley.
He wears socks to bed, man.
Socks and sandals.
We can slag him because he's not here now.
Yeah. What do you make of it anyway? You think it's a safe enough one?
Craig, it's possibly the safest bet you could possibly put on.
Burnley are
City to beat Burnley at home.
Oh, it's in the Etihad, is it?
Don't even try and defend it. I don't think there's anything to say on this one. I don't think there's any way that Burnley are going to get anything from this match.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Which would be funny if next week we're coming on and Burnley and beat them. But
it would be a huge upset, but yeah, I think it's a safe enough one. Right, go on, jump on to my second one there.
Right, your second one.
Chelsea to beat Brentford. Now, this might sound straightforward, yeah, and like an easy pick, but Brentford...
That's an interesting one.
Brentford have been solid, yeah. They picked up results against Arsenal and a couple of good teams, putting in performances. They're tough to break down. You know, the way they're playing football, they're just not an easy team to play against. Now, Chelsea are just... You know, for me, Chelsea could possibly win the league this year. I think their squad is solid, you know, with Kante and Jorginho to choose from for like defensive mids, and then their backs, you know, the defenders they have in Mendy and goal, they're so hard to break down. I just don't think Brentford will get through. They might get one, but I could just see Chelsea winning this probably, you know, 2-0 or 3-1.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this one. Like, Brentford have started, and when you actually watch Brentford play, they're one of those high pressure teams that kind of constantly put you under that pressure. I'd think Chelsea would be the favourites, obviously, but not
you know,
straightforward.
Brentford are at home for this one, you know.
The fans will be all over that.
Yeah, it's not a straightforward one, but I think, you know, Chelsea have
struggled in their matches lately. Like, Lukaku started the season well, but he's kind of nearly gone off the boil the last few weeks. So he's kind of shown nearly what he was like at United, where.
Not that bad.
let's not get into Lukaku at United, but I've seen donkeys trap the ball better than he was.
But you know, Ed, right? Ed was saying, like, he actually thinks Lukaku coming into Chelsea has like completely disrupted the flow they had with all the options they had going forward. People running in behind.
It changes.
He's a target man now.
Completely the structure of the team. Like, it does. And I seen the midweek, it was him saying that he's not a target man, but they seem to every team just seems to play him nearly as a target. Like, United constantly played him as a target man, and it was the completely wrong thing because he doesn't play well like that. But I don't know. And I actually kind of like Timo Werner, surprisingly, even though his goal scoring record.
Shane will snap at you for that one. He's desperate to get rid of him. Shane, the Chelsea fan.
He's actually not that bad. Like, he's up until he actually needs to finish. He's very, very good. And I know, and again, like, he's what's I read, 16 goals rolled out from VAR this season.
Yeah. And a lot of them were like razor thin, you know what I mean? Like, someone's nose was pointing forward or something. Right, go on. What's your second pick?
Right, probably no surprise here, but Super Saints to beat Leeds. Southampton fan through and through.
I forgot to mention you're a Southampton fan. The only one in Ireland, probably.
Yeah, the solo Southampton fan club that I've got.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, how long have you been supporting them now? Like, back since Letizia, wasn't it? He was.
Letizia was my hero back then. Like, God. So
Southampton to beat Leeds. Do you know what? I wouldn't be mad at that one. I wouldn't be shocked. I think, you know, Leeds aren't playing that well this year. Where's Southampton in the league?
Southampton have actually started badly, but they've drawn 4 and lost the rest of their matches this season, right? but they drew against United, and they should have beaten United.
Yeah.
In that match, they drew against City away, and again that was a match that they should.
How's that a bad start? Like that's an unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. Points wise, it looks like a bad start.
Yeah.
But they drew against City away, and that was where they were robbed in that match. A penalty awarded. Kyle Walker sent off, and then VAR somehow changed the decision on that and ruled it wasn't a penalty. They were drawn against Chelsea up until the last 10 minutes at the last Premiership game week.
That's a rough start, man. That is a rough fucking start. But
even the Chelsea match, it was 1-1, and then Ward-Prowse got sent off, and then it went off.
And you have lost Danny Ings, which is obviously a huge loss to Southampton.
Yeah, Danny Ings, and the lad they brought in, Armstrong, he's good, but he's just not finishing the chances.
Yeah.
They got a lad from Chelsea as well, a young fella that's actually quite good. Scored during the week in the international matches as well. Leeds haven't started the season great either, and you would have, as a United fan, you would have seen them in the first match.
Yeah.
They leave some amount of gaps open in their team. Entertaining to watch.
Here's the thing, right? I wouldn't be shocked if this was 5-5 because both of these teams love conceding lots of goals. So, what do you make of the Southampton manager? Are you happy with him? Like, I've seen.
I like him, but he's under pressure. He's good. He gets tactically, he's not the best, which they've seen 2 9-0 defeats in the last 2 seasons. And they lost. They were down a man in both matches. But normally you get a red card, and you actually become harder to beat. And get a player sent off, and it's like, Jesus Christ. No, I do like him. I think I wouldn't like to see him, considering the options that are out there for replacing him. Like Southampton aren't going to get fucking Conte in.
No,
they're not going to get someone. The main contenders will be the likes of probably Mark Hughes, Sam Allardyce,
Fat Frank.
Actually, I don't mind Frank Lambert. At least he's a young player, a young manager. It's the older ones. It's the likes of Roy Hodgson, Sam Allardyce. Who was the other one?
But you bring managers in from abroad.
Yeah. And I'd like to see a young manager coming in that's kind of got the same, like the way Southampton played. Again, it's very much like Liverpool. They put the pressure on right at the very front of the team. Cause a lot of mistakes in the opposition defence. They just don't have the players that can finish like Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon that will be a decent one. I think
that could be the one. That could be the chink in the chain. You know, I wouldn't be shocked with a draw with that one. Now, I think the other results. No, the Leicester United ones. You picked a few dodgy ones there, but if they come through, the odds would be good.
Sorry, I'm not Alex who picked City to beat Burnley. Now, actually, his next one. Let's see what one he's managed to predict.
Right. Go on.
I'm going to actually try and have a look here and see which is the most obvious result. Actually, there's not that many loans left. Right, here's the next one. Everton to beat West Ham.
That's a tough one now. That's not an obvious one. They're kind of similar, you know what I mean? Like, I think they'll be competing for between 6 to 8 in the league this year.
It's weird. West Ham are a weird one because David Moyes actually got them playing good football.
Yeah.
When considering what he did at United.
United was too big for him. Do you know what I mean? It was too big a job. He's one of them managers that works well with those mid-table teams, and he can push them into maybe getting Europa League the odd time or an FA Cup challenge, something like that. He was never gonna do well at the likes of United.
No.
So what do you make of that?
Brilliant at West Ham.
Do you think Everton will take West Ham?
I would say no.
I think Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are still out.
Yeah, and the way Benitez has them set up, often it's like first step is to avoid defeat and then see what you can get as a winner. West Ham are a team that they have a lot of potential goal scorers out there. They've got Jared Bowen, who doesn't score a whole lot, but he's a very creative player.
Antonio.
I think Antonio's a beast. Yeah, Antonio's one of them players that is so underrated a lot of the times. Benrahma, he came from Brentford. Actually, you look at what the team Brentford could have had. They had Ali Watkins, they had Benrahma.
Yeah.
That would have been some. And throw in Ivan Toney that they've got now.
Yeah,
they would have had something.
They've identified good players. You know what? They're doing some stuff behind the scenes. You hear about it where they're like using all like statistics and data to like it's like Moneyball. Yeah, so that different approach, but it's obviously working. They got promoted and they're doing well. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that's a bogey one. I don't know. I personally probably would have said West Ham to get a result there, but we'll see how that goes.
So, look, at least he made some sort of a risky bet.
Yeah.
He obviously took the socks off for that match.
Right, go on.
Right, so your first European one, what have you gone for?
Yeah.
Bayern to beat Leverkusen.
Right, now, of course, Bundesliga, Bayern are always the favourites. People are going to look at this and think it's an easy one, yeah? But Leverkusen are second in the Bundesliga and they're on fire. I don't think this is a straightforward game at all, but I thought it was one that you might get a half-decent return on. Do you know what I mean? But you'd be confident Bayern should get a result. I think it'd be a close game. I wouldn't be shocked if it was 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah, you'd always fancy Bayern in any match in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
They're so far ahead of any other team, mainly because they take all the other teams' players. But
yeah.
Are they home or away in that match?
I think they're home. I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, with Lewandowski, you'd always fancy him to get a goal. Bayern actually have a beast of a team.
Yeah, but
Kimmich is unreal.
Goretzka is unreal. But you know they're in a league. It's the same as. I mean, look, the Bundesliga is a good league, good professional league. But you know, with all the money coming into the Premier League, that's kind of becoming the Super League in itself. And I think these other leagues where there's only one team in it, you know, they're going to get hurt by the amount of money going into the Premier League. So, like, I think over time, now, all big players will be in the Premier League.
Linked with Haaland if Leverkusen go. If Lewandowski goes.
That's a madness move for me. I don't think you should do. It's
not going to happen. Haaland leaving is going to come down to with Raiola as the agent. That's going to come down to whoever pays the most wages and whoever gives the most money to Raiola.
Newcastle.
Oh Jesus, that's disgusting. That would be absolutely.
I'd love to see Haaland at United. I think the way Ollie brought him through, I think it would be a good one to get. Cavani moving on at the end of this season. Ronaldo obviously still being an unreal player, but he is getting older, and Haaland would be the future. And I think even one season with Haaland and Ronaldo, like the headlines they'd get, the goals they'd get.
I do think United will get a striker at the end of the year, and I think Haaland and Kane will both be off at the end of the season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see United pick up one of them.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with Newcastle now is throwing a curveball into every team's transfers. Like,
it's going to take a few years. They're going to have to really, attract some of the money-hungry players early and then gradually move up the table. But what was it, 4 years until Man City won something? 4 years goes by fast.
Still haven't won the Champions League, and they've been under those owners like 9 years now.
Well, the Champions League, it's a cup. Anything can happen in a cup, essentially. And you're playing all the big boys in that. And the Champions League is never going to be easy to buy. But
I actually considered putting Newcastle in the bet this week against Spurs, considering, yourself, the feel-good factor that will be in that stadium for that match.
Yeah, but
that doesn't inspire the players.
Bruce is still in charge, and they still have shy players. Do you know what I mean?
No, apparently that Bruce might be gone by that much. They're trying to. They're looking at it. If Bruce is the manager, it could bring a bit of negativity to what's supposed to be a celebration.
I was reading about Newcastle. They're looking to bring in a sports director, and your man that's kind of creeping up a lot. I think his name is Campos or something. I can't remember his name exactly, but he was the sporting director of Monaco, where you had Mbappe, Fabinho, Bernardo Silva, Martial, and then he was at Lille last year, who beat PSG to the league. If they bring in a sporting director like that and they get a solid manager, even if it is a Conte or someone maybe a little bit lower, that's the spine of the whole system there. Give it a couple of years.
They'll be looking to get top 6 next season.
Oh, that'd be tough.
Get tough. European football.
I think that's a bit too soon.
They have the January transfer window, the summer transfer window. They'll be looking to get in players that will get them top 6. And once they have European football, to then move on to the next level. But breaking into the top four in the Premiership,
I think it's going to take them at least 2 seasons to start to get challenging in the top 8.
No, I just think the whole thing's disgusting anyway.
Right. So you think Bayern to beat Leverkusen, yeah? You think
I'd agree with that one.
Right.
It's decent odds as well. Like it's not an 8-1.
That's why I went for it. I'm confident they'd win, but it's a tough game. It's not a clear show. Right. So what's your second one? Or what's your first one?
AC Milan to beat Verona.
Right.
AC Milan at home. Verona, shite. No, not a whole lot else to say about that.
Bit of a safer bet. Look, we need a few safe bets in an accumulator. You know, they can't all be mental.
This isn't even that safe. 13 to 10 is good odds for this match. Zlatan could be back, which influenced my thinking. But regardless, they're definitely way too strong at home to beat Verona.
And the fact Zlatan is 61 years old doesn't...
Zlatan would still rip up the Premiership if he was there.
Yeah, when he's not injured.
Yeah. His injuries are what's going to hinder them. But
you say hinder. He's 41 or something like that, so you can allow injuries at that point. You know, he had a long career where he wasn't injured.
Sure, I'm 36 and tried to jump a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still trying to recover from it.
Right, so I agree with that. That should be a good one, right? So what's Alex's...
Right, let's see what is Alex signed off.
European one.
PSG to be injured.
So he went for the safe bet.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
But you know, if you look at this whole thing as a whole, right? I think we have some good ones in there. I think, like, with these odds, it should have a decent return if they all came true. There's some you expect to win, but there's a couple that are going to be close games. It's not Leicester United, Everton, West Ham, and Bayern and Leverkusen. Like, they could go either way, but I think it's an alright accumulator.
All right, what
solid
do you reckon,
graphics there, Howley. Solid, yeah.
You what?
Solid graphics there.
That's Google Images at its best. Don't even know what currency that is.
Fucking Bitcoin or something. Right, go on. Odds.
Right, what odds do you reckon all that is?
I'm shite at maths, man. 50 to 1, 60 to 1, something like that.
147 to 1.
Nice. That's not bad. That is a good return.
Our intention is to throw 20 quid on that. So if we get 20 quid on that, we'll return 2,960. That's
a solid return, to be fair.
Yeah, we say that now. Yeah. Probably come back next week and it'll be like, that's a waste of time. And Alex will be the only one with his PSG and his Man City bets.
Yeah, with his socks and sandals still on. Fuck's sake. But no, like that's more than I was expecting it to be, you know, because we picked a couple of big teams to win. Obviously, those closer games, the Everton, West Hams, and that's bumping up the odds. That's a pretty decent return, to be fair. Right, so
does Alex get a third of that now? Even though he's a no-show. And,
I don't know. He was a no-show. He might be missing out now.
We'll discuss that with him. We'll see if we can water down his percentage.
Right, so we'll leave that one there. So we'll catch up on this next week. We'll check out the results of them and we'll chat through them a little bit.
Now, if all three of mine go, I'm not appearing next week. All three of mine are wrong. You'll never see me on this again.
Right, so we'll chat through them next week and then we'll make picks for the week ahead as well. So